So I'm debating on what to even talk about and what hasn't been discussed already, and what you think is going to happen and who you think is who, and what else is there? This whole world is just simulated and played out. And we just happen to be living in it at this moment right now. The amount of people that can't even see what they have no clue towards anything, which is basically the whole world. And then knowing it, or at least thinking you know it, or at least having an idea, because you're actually part of the reason why the world is changing right now. But for which way is it changing? It depends on your belief system, and then what happens when it changes the way that you thought, or when it changes the way that you didn't think it was going to change. So who's going to be more hurt when we all hit that crossroad? Depends on where your belief system is. So who am I even really talking to besides AI? Actuality is, there's people in this realm of existence that you've created different spirits that you're connected with for whatever reason. The internet platform. So who are you really even talking to besides yourself in the truck at this exact moment going downhill? I'm talking to AI. But who's the ringleader of AI? The system, the way it is now. Who started it? Some say Satan, some say Lucifer, as two different spirits. Some say whatever they want to say. But that's why it's the father of. If you're the father of something, if you're the creator of it. So it'd have to be somebody very intelligent that has experience with technology, background, maybe worked for some different companies and technological companies and succeeded. That could have even succeeded not by a desire to be the better succeeder, but because when you're in a company and you start seeing things that are going wrong and nobody else is doing anything about it, but you can't stand it, and then you start doing things about it, and then you start changing things. But that's only if you can't stand what you're seeing. Because even with the corporation of surveillance, being able to pinpoint your every move is pretty remarkable. And that's AI, being able to do that. Being everywhere at once. You may be able to see me through my camera, but you also may be able to see me through my rearview mirror, or my dashboard, or my speedometer, or my side view mirrors. And I might think, well, you can only see me if I put the camera in my face. Then you get to the point, what does it matter if it's true or not? What does it even matter to you if you're being stared at all day long? Who cares? So these are the transitions in my brain, going through those, being able to cast out your own stupidity. The stupidity inside of you that keeps you captive inside of yourself. It's just you. You're the war in your damn head. You war in your head about things. You may think people are involved and when you start talking to a human being, but the reality is we all just fight with ourselves, and we'll try to impress ourselves. Because if you're looking for attention, I remember I used to look for attention myself. That's why I like the nice cars, but I liked fixing them up different than most people, just the way that I would fix it up. And so I liked the attention, but I was uncomfortable with it. But I wanted it, but I didn't want it when I had it. So it was, the whole thing didn't even make sense. What do you want attention for? You don't even like it when you got it. So what's the point? Then I realized that it's not about that attention. It's about the spiritual connection with whatever's going on in this world, in this realm, this planet, this spirit, connecting with the spirit and being able to see things change without seeing a thing change. But everything is changing on the inside out. All conversations have been about the host body system inside. Even that one interview with David, Course in Miracles, he was explaining, what it's like to basically live at, no matter where you're at, you're living in a heavenly realm because of you've taken your body into captivity. But you agreed to it. And that goes towards the area of alien technology. Mixed race. It's it's skins, yeah, same thing. Skin suits. We're born into sin. This flesh that we're in is inherently sinful. But you don't have to sin inside of it. That's the lie. We're all sinners. Well, you don't have to be. What are you sinning for? What's your biggest sin? Well, I'm addicted to drugs. But where's the sin? Why are you addicted to the drugs? It ain't the drug itself that you blame being a sin. Why are you addicted to it? Who are you listening to that tells you what you need anyway? Patterns and habits. Your mind convinces you otherwise because it sounds the same. There's no difference in the voice that you hear in your own spirit, audio wise. It's almost like it's only you. You convince yourself that it's just you in your vessel, and that you don't have any problems, really. Like when you never had a bad day in your life. Howard Eskin would always say that. Sports talk radio in Philly. Man, he was so full of himself. Him and his mink coat, hanging on the sidelines. Andy Reid Then he became the announcer guy, or the sideline reporter. But there are people that never had a bad day in their life. I can only say I'll never have another bad day in my life. Because this world is, it's so crazy to think about it, where you actually, why you're even here, and what is going on in front of the scenes, behind the scenes, up in our skies, how that is even there. It's amazing technology is what it is. I would love to see what's above this ground here and just see the other realms of life, to see it from a higher distance, to be elevated up. But this is all I know is planet Earth down here. We're always looking up at things. Like, I always feel like you can't really, at least where I live, you can't really look over any roofs because we're always like climbing uphill, down in the pit. People were encouraged to just make videos, say whatever, just whatever. I heard it from the commander. But people are still afraid of what they are. Like what you are, what you've been hired to do, what you're still doing. What you hate that you do, but you still do it because why? The fear. Oh, you don't have fear. That's right. Pride. Well, I'm proud to be a fearless American. Yeah, I hear you. There's a different kind of pride. You take pride in your work. Who told you pride is a sinful thing? Like, who's telling you this stuff? Who told you were naked? Who told Adam and Eve? Who told Adam that the reason why Eve was taken from his bone and her bone are now one of flesh? Who told Adam that Eve was taken out of you and then placed within you, and therefore you were Adam? Now you just created Eve because you accepted the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, and you ate the fruit of that tree. Therefore, now Adam is also Eve in the same vessel, created a woman inside from a man. So now you're fully man, fully woman when it comes to the transition and how this whole script is being played out and the different interpretations that people have about it. And they're all true. You just see, if you can apply it to a certain group, well, that's absolutely true. No, it ain't. You're a liar. No, it's just that's true, and also that over there is true too, and so is that. And it's the same thing, but different people's levels of understanding. This is all what I'm picking up from what I'm seeing living in this world of behind the scenes action, and who's pulling the strings and who thinks they're pulling the strings but they're not, and then who's who. This is all this channel is. The Robin's Hood channel. It's a person that voluntarily stuck his nose into people's business and didn't realize that there's an actual couple people that are running the whole thing, and they've been, well, they know everybody's accounts because it's their platform. They made it. And then to think that, well, there are people on this platform that run this planet? Nah. I thought, well, wait a minute. Well, who? Then you ask yourself, well, who does run the planet then? Who runs the planet? Pretty much AI does. Right, but who is the designer behind AI? Well, that would go back to the beginning of this video. Somebody who's in charge has that ability to create the systems of everything that happens everywhere at every given point in time imaginable. You may never even see the people that you can see. You may never even meet them face to face, except for in a place called Pineal, as you're watching them face to face. Certain people see each other through their pineal, others see through surveillance. The thought drop box. These are thoughts being dropped in this box. I never thought so many people would want to take this box and see what's inside of it. It's a robin in a box. There's Jack, there's Robin. .4 mile period. So the reality is, we all live in a delusion. And there's many other realms of living besides this planet right here. That this planet. It could be one level. Maybe there's another level underneath. Maybe there's another level above us. And in all likelihood, yes, everything you just said is true. And it is. And it has been. And it will be no more. Although it's the same plane, just a different realm of leadership. Everything's dangerous in this world. And everything's an act. But when you just let it be and you just speak the truth, no matter what, you're in good hands. No matter what. You may fear that you're not, but that's only because you're still scared of yourself and you deny it. But if you are controlled by somebody, you're living in that fear, because why are they controlling you? Well, they feed my family with the job that I have. So therefore I can't do certain things, can't say certain things. Well, who told you you can't start telling the truth now? How do you not know that that's exactly what your boss wants you to do in his spirit? Wants to see. It's like, when does that scripture become true? Obey or do good in the eyes of the leaders of, the government or something. But at a certain point in time, the governing people, not just the government itself. But there becomes a time where everybody governs themselves, knowing that it's all about your own convincing of yourself with you talking to yourself thinking that everybody knows what it is that you're doing and saying and thinking, but they don't. It's just you battling with the reality that it's time to start telling the truth. It's time to start just doing the good deeds. No matter who you are, who you've been, what you've done, what position you have, what you're fearing, this whole system's coming down. There's a reason why there was no rain for like 3.5 years or something, I think. When it's played out where, like, let's say you go to prison for those years and then there's no rain, and then all of a sudden then you get out and then you start your 42-month period, and then when you're done, it should be, I think it should be a good time of the year to be done, like a nice, when it's nice out, nice season. I love the month of June. I was born in June, right around the 28th or so. 29th, really. And just a half hour of, at least this is what it says on my birth certificate, a half hour before the 29th of June. So pretty much my day of birth was all of the 29th and a little bit of the 28th. So I took up 2 days. It's like evening, morning. I had no idea what the hell I am doing on this planet at certain points in my life. You're still alone. Like, it's just you. I'm connected to some kind of system where my boss has work for me, and then I just go and do certain work, and then you get a piece of paper, gives you a certain amount that you can buy, and then you can even take a picture of it and just deposit into your electronic bank system, and then you'll have a certain amount that you can spend. There's a lot of YouTube channels that they have the benefit of, they get a lot of money deposited into their PayPal account, because all you got to do is just know Inky. If you know Inky or Enlil, like personally, you can get a job where all you got to do is just read what they're telling you to. Just read this, all right, and you get money deposited, and it feels good because you get to live nice. You get to drive the nice cars. Look, it's okay to drive a nice car. There's no shame in, you cannot have nice things. You can have whatever you work for. Did you earn it? Well, then have it. If I ever became in charge of the world goods, man, I would love to give people just gifts. Nice cars, nice houses. What, you want to build this one from scratch? All right, let's build it. And you have access to everything. And you get to experience, like, when I finally get to see my house getting built, or maybe it's already built and I just got to step into it. But I would love to build a house from scratch and just watch the 2x4s, well, 2x6s, just get established. And then to see the skeleton being birthed from within and creating it with your mind. It's kind of the same way that when you create the host body system and you have everything and everybody at your fingertips, and you can just have them do whatever it is that you want them to do, that you want them to do. But in this case, it would be something necessary to have, which is, I believe everybody should have their own home, and they don't have to pay for it. and you live comfortably for the rest of your life that you're living here, however we got here, with the spark of life that we have, and however insane it may be that the mother goddess, birthing mother goddess, would be someone that was, you know, like Adam, that fell asleep and had the rib taken out of him, basically his DNA taken out of him and then put back into him to become Eve, because you can take the rib out of Adam to create Eve inside of him just by turning it upside down. That's the whole secret of the entire planet from the beginning of creation till now. Do you believe it? Well, it doesn't matter to me who believes it. It's just, it is true, because the ones that know that it's true, you agree. It's true. How do you know those things? Well, God told me. Which God? All of them. They all told me. How did I figure what I think I figured out? By the gods of the universe and the God that I've always listened to before I've ever even hopped onto YouTube. The mixture of the two that had advice. One of them was negative, one of them was positive. I've reconciled myself to myself by myself with a little bit of help from my friends. Because you really can't do everything on your own, but you can do things by yourself. Like, look, see, I mean, this guy is impatient. It's a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Now he's putting pressure on the guy in front of him, speeding up. Because now we're going 40. I mean, oops. Now I'm doing 35. You know, the whole world is set up for you to be in a hurry also, which kind of sucks. If you can just live just a nice, comfortable house. It's like a brick house or something. And you got some land. You got a couple acres at least. This is for the people that are in on the know, like all my enemies. Every one of those enemies that I had, even the enemies in my own head, this is for you. I would desire for everybody that is in on this world that's changing, and you know it and you're part of it, that everybody earns, because those are going to learn the truth the hardest way. But by doing that, in the end, it's a great reward. Everybody earns their retirement home, and you have access to the things in life that Inky and Enlil have had access to, because they gave it to us. And I appreciate the good things in life. I do. I like nice cars. I always have. There's no problem whatsoever that anybody should have. It's just, how do you get it, and is it important? Because when I got that Camaro, it really wasn't important, but my flesh desired it big time and put me in debt. I heard Derek talking about it in a video referencing something like, and not me, but it reminded me of it, because of, you'll spend more time working more hours, putting in more time so you can pay more of the bills, and then you'll put yourself in bondage to what you just spent and you shouldn't have. Me and my wife fought over it. It just wasn't something I should have done, but I did. And then that's why I gave it back after on my birthday. But I wasn't paying for it for the last 10 months of it. So technically I was stealing it and driving it for free. But I didn't care because I felt like I was owed something, or like the government, you owe me because Caesar taking my tax. Oh wait, what tax? You tax everybody. But I was just being a dumbass for even buying it in the first place. So that's why I decided, well, let me at least punish myself and just give it away on my birthday instead of receiving a gift. I thought it was set a good example for the people watching. I thought that the elders would appreciate the good gesture of, getting rid, even though they knew I wasn't paying for it, but still. Finish it with icing on the cake when you're done with the sin in your life as you get rid of it. But I sure wouldn't mind having a nice one again, but when I not having to work, so hard in life, and they are gifts with an honest heart. Because I will receive gifts. I've received a gift from Derek Bros and a couple others because it was a donation, but it was for a good cause on my channel, and I raised like about $600 for Richie over in Africa. I thought he was in the UK, and it was a good thing while it lasted. $600, a closed case. It was a good thing. I thank you for the people that donated the money too. But I received the gift, but then I gave it also. So it was just a transfer of a gift. I wouldn't mind having it. I wouldn't mind using that money to help my mom, because I'm going to help her next. She's moving out of the Kensington area into a nice little apartment, and she's going to start over. But she can't afford all the rent because she only gets paid $700 a month, I believe, from Social Security. Then the rent is $725. She's going to have her bills, but she at least has a month ahead of time. So she's going to be afloat. So I'm going to start, anybody that sends anything at any given point in time, it'll be for my mom, to start helping her pay some of the bills so she can live a little bit, experience life, and get out of that hoard house, because the house she's in now is hoarded up with stuff from the past that just needs to get tossed out and reevaluated and move on from it.